Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City Council meeting for today, July 13th. I'm sorry we're a little bit late today, but we had another meeting that we were just involved in, so we're all here, well, most of us. What I'd like to do is provide information about public participation. There are three ways to submit public comments. One is to submit written comments by the meeting date, or two, submit written comments during the meeting, and three, attend the meeting in person. To submit written comments by meeting day, please email the city clerk and include public comment in the subject line. All written comments received by 4 p.m. on the meeting day will be provided to the city council prior to the meeting. Please note that any email comments received after 4 p.m. on the meeting date are not guaranteed to be received by the city council prior to the meeting. Comments are not read out loud into the record. Two, during the meeting, you may visit dalycity.org/agendas to submit comments using the public comment form to address the city council on any specific item or during the public comment period, and such comments are delivered to the city council and the city staff during the meeting and may be read into the record at the time that they are received. And lastly, to speak at the meeting in person, please complete a speaker card located at both entrances to the city council chamber and submit to any staff member as early in the meeting as possible. With that being said, if we can all kindly please rise for the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. Oh, okay. I'd like to start off with a land acknowledgement at this time. The city of Daly City acknowledges that we are on the ancestral lands of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. We recognize their enduring connection to this region and honor their history, culture, and contributions. As the indigenous protectors of this land, we affirm their sovereign rights as the original inhabitants of this land and pay respects to the ancestors, the elders, relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples. Thank you very much. And Madam City Clerk, would you kindly proceed with the roll call, please?
Ms. DiGiovanni,
Present.
Ms. Carano,
Present.
Ms. Manalo,
Present.
Mr. Sylvester,
Glenn Sylvester, present. And Dr. Rod is excused. Thank you. All right, the first item of business is a proclamation proclaiming Parks and Recreation Month. If I can have Christopher Joe, our video technician? There you, oh yeah, okay. Representative for tonight, Mr. Joe, thank you for being here. I'd like to start off on the proclamation and read a few whereas clauses. Whereas the city of Daly City recognizes parks and recreation is an integral part of all communities throughout this country, and whereas Parks and Recreation promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks, and whereas Parks and Recreation promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's, and I didn't see one part as I'm reading this yet, and Councilmember Manalo is probably going to say something, but I'm going to try to catch this before you, Councilmember Manalo, because when I think of this one word, I think of you and what you've done to promote this. Whereas the Department of Recreation Services is a leading provider of education, healthy meals, nutrition services, and encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, fitness courts, swimming pools, older adult activities, and many other events designed to promote active, healthy lifestyles. And whereas the Department of Recreation Services, programming and education activities such as out-of-school time services, youth sports, and life skills, which includes job attraction and retention of businesses and crime reduction. And whereas Parks and Recreation increases a community's economic prosperity through through cultural experiences, which brings about increased property values, expansion of local tax base, and increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses and crime reduction, and whereas the Department of Recreation Services fosters social and cultural experience that cultivate a positive environment inclusive of diverse populations, promoting understanding, equity, and a strong sense of community. And the last whereas, the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month. Now therefore, I, Glenn R. Sylvester, as the mayor, and my fellow members of the City Council of Daly City do hereby proclaim July 26th as Parks and Recreation Month in the city of Daly City, and call upon all residents in the community to pay tribute to our parks and recreation professionals and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to our community, health, safety, and quality of life. The one point I wanted to make earlier, and I said I think of Councilmember Manalo because she was the one who got Daly City as the first city in San Mateo.
The nation.
Huh?
The nation.
Oh, the nation. Okay, even much so. I think for the Department of Parks and Recreation, you also do one other thing, and you bring folks together. But the magic word I was looking for also is loneliness. And by bringing everybody together, and thank you, Councilmember Manalo, I never forget that. I think Department of Parks and Recreation does just that in addition to everything else that they do. So thank you very much. And before we provide this proclamation, what I'd like to do is offer my colleagues a chance to provide any comment if they would love to do so. So I'll start with the Vice Mayor.
There we go. I'm going to let my colleagues go first. I want to end, so. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Well, everybody wants to go last, but that's fine. Thank you, Mayor. Well, there's not enough to say after everything that's read in the proclamation. What is it you don't do? That's apparent, right? And I know one thing for sure is that you put a lot of heart and smiles in every single event, and even in the interactions of our community, no matter what it is a constant that I hear from everybody of all ages. I don't think you really truly know the effect that you have, not just in the events, but in interacting with the people. I mean, just you hear it all the time, from the Bay Shore to the Gellert to John Daly to everywhere we go. War Memorial. I mean, it's just so nice, and that it really has a positive effect on people's health, as the mayor alluded to, but also the fact of amongst each other, it gives a camaraderie because you're here for the right reasons. And who wouldn't want to be in the recreation department? Really, because you can encourage people, and we have a lot of youth coming up, and then you guys are the leaders. Some of you have been with us ever since like for a long time since the youth days, and you're still youth, but it's very positive, long-lasting effect, and you can feel it just even from you being in here tonight. I know that you could have gone home, but you chose to stay here because you're proud to be part of the Recreation Department. And I am proud for every one of you, including each of your supervisors, director, and all the workers here, the creative minds and the kindness that you guys, you listen to the people, and it's the community. And that's clearly evident. So I'm so humble and grateful to each one of you. So that's it from the bottom of my heart, but, I'll let everyone else speak. But I didn't want to take away from you speaking, but after that, we all might have something else to say after you speak. But thank you very much for everything, and may we continue to be blessed as you go forward, and that feel like you're supported in everything you do in the Recreation Department, because you are. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. I'll next turn it over to Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you, Mayor. It is so amazing, the Recreation Department. From being a young girl that grew up in Daly City, seeing it continue to thrive is huge. And it's intergenerational from the young and old, what you're able to do. And it's really about the joy you bring to whether it's seniors or youth, the youth development that you bring forth. Big kudos, Denise Brown, for your leadership and the leaderships of your supervisors. And, when you do the amazing videos as well, it encapsulates what's happened, but also like when you're at the events, I know that it means a lot to the families and to the seniors. And when Mayor mentioned when we declared loneliness as a public health crisis in 2024, we realized from the pandemic how much more special it was to have human interaction, right? We were all in our homes. And so I think even during that year, I want to acknowledge the staff and the recreation staff and the staff that I think we did the most events in that year to highlight how do we make sure that we bridged a human connection together. And that wouldn't be possible without each and every one of you. And so we say thank you to all of you. Many of you are here today, and it really are the fabric of, the city of Daly City, in all of your roles. And I love how I get to hear the stories of many recreation staff that were participants and then they go on to be staff members. And it just shows that ecosystem of wanting to be able to give back to the next generation or even growing up in the rec programs, right? So, yeah, give each other a pat on the back. I saw that. But thank you so much. And we give you our sincere thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Vice Mayor, are you ready?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. So I started out on Park and Recreation Commission many years ago when it was called Park and Recreation Commission, and then it became Recreation Commission. So I would say that one of my favorite things was being able to sit on the commission and have you all come and visit and talk about the projects and the events that were being held throughout the year. And that to me, when I walk into the library on Mission Street, the War Memorial, and I have my name there still because I was on the Recreation Commission. But what I'd like to say personally is that I recall, okay, I'm dating myself, right? I'm not going to give a year, but I recall going to summer programs and making items with people just like all of you. And one was they did a plaster, like in a pie plate. And then we had rocks, and then we made all these designs in it, and then we got to take it home. And I just think that it stays with us. My favorite right here on the front here, well, first of all, you know how much I love you guys with regards to the videos. Whenever I see them, I go, I need to take a selfie with you guys because you're never in the videos because you're filming. But the gentleman here in front, you started as, you were a kid once? No, I get it. You were a kid in recreation, and now you work there, right? So how many people here started as a young person and, yes, that's true. Anybody else? Isn't, yes,
all that.
yes. Miss Denise Brown, that's proof in the pudding, right there. So I'd like to join in with my colleagues and say thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everything you do. Okay, I'm still dating myself. When Dolger supporters, we had the 25th and the 50th, I was proud to be on those committees. And the last thing is, thank you for the food pantry. Yes, there's things that many people don't know, but besides the youth and the swimming and everything everyone else mentioned, we have an amazing, if you haven't seen it, a food pantry. I want to thank you for that. So at this time, I'd like to stand, come on guys, and salute you guys. Good job, thank you.
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. I think she said she didn't want to date herself, but when you're talking about those projects, I think that was in 1985. No, I'm just kidding.
I wasn't there yet, but it was close.
And Councilmember Manalo had made mention, as you go through life, you meet many bosses, supervisors, and Denise Brown I've noticed she's like basically at the top of that realm, that list, because the bosses don't always look for accolades, and Denise is one of those who doesn't look for accolades. But basically, she looks for you folks to get the accolades. So, Denise, I appreciate that, and also your staff as well, because everybody's plays a crucial part in what makes up Parks and Recreation. I could go on. I mean, there's so many events, and for the video technician, whenever I go to events and I see all the folks who take all the pictures, and as Vice Mayor had made mention, I says, oh, I got to get in one of them pictures because it keeps us on our toes too and make sure we don't do something that we're not supposed to be doing. So that's very much appreciated. For folks out in the audience or at home who have never been to a Daly City event, you look for these folks. And the events, you have many of Parks and Rec manning the various tables to get the word out about Daly City. I see those, and I think that's very important. So basically, to all the staff of Parks and Rec, you make us, the city of Daly City, you make us look good. So it's very much appreciated, and I'm not going to forget. So with that being said, Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you. And if you wanted to say a couple of words, because I know you've been standing there for a bit, and we can go all night and talk. And but this is your time now.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. My name is Chris Jones. I work as a video technician with the Daly City Department of Recreation Services. Over the past 12 years, I've had the opportunity to grow within recreation. I began as a recreation leader, helping plan and facilitate programming for our after-school programs, summer camps, and teen programs. Later, I joined the recreation marketing team where I create photo and video content to help showcase the many amazing programs, services, and events our department has to offer. Working in recreation has strengthened my work ethic, taught me the importance of professionalism and dependability, and shown me the value of building meaningful connections within our community. On behalf of the Daly City Department of Recreation Services, thank you to the City Council for recognizing Parks and Recreation Month. It is truly an honor to accept this proclamation on behalf of our department. Thank you.
All right, with that said, Mr. Joe, we will come down and provide the proclamation to you and
Bring up everybody.
your colleagues. And if you want to come on up also as well, we can take a photo. Would that be okay?
Everybody.
Okay. Okay, you see. See, Denise tells them.
No, I guess I'll stand in the middle. Wondering what's a good place for a photo. I love his dad.
The mayor asked me to come like this.
Oh, sorry, Chris, am I blocking it?
Are you good?
I think,
They won't
yeah.
whack you, we won't
Oh,
whack
yeah. Yeah, there you go.
you. Watch out, man. Okay,
We want to make sure she can get in.
yeah, I'm gonna make sure we're
Are
all.
we looking? Are we looking?
Up,
Yeah?
if you can't see the-
Is everybody in?
If you can't see the lens, you're not in the picture.
You got it?
Yay!
Come to the front.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, on the count of
Wait,
three.
wait, where's Denise?
Right here.
Denise, where are you?
Right here.
Alright, ready on three. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
You got it. Good job, good job.
I'll say what's up to Mr. Sylvester.
Great job.
What's up, Mr. Sylvester? Good to see you, like always. Yes, sir. That boy. Hey, Mr. Man.
Hey, all right.
I was a kid.
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Thanks for being
Great
here.
job. Great job. Great job.
Keep it mellow. We love it.
Hey, you talk to me all the other time, but you don't talk to me.
Oh yeah, sorry. How you been? Good to see you.
How are you?
Good. What's new?
Nothing. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you for everything too, Mr. Mayor.
All right.
Good to see you.
All right. Great.
See you again.
Yes, we'll see each other, yeah. Wow, That was fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you,
That
Vice
was
Mayor.
wonderful. Agreed. So wonderful.
That's great to start out with that.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Shirley?
Great.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, congratulations to the Department of Parks and Recreation. Very good things. All right, I'd like to move onward with the agenda. The next item, item number 2, is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of June 22nd. I'll
Motion to
entertain
approve? Second?
We have a first, Councilmember Manalo, second by Vice Mayor Perano. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the minutes say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes are passed. The next item is the approval of the agenda for this evening.
Motion to approve agenda?
We have a first. Is there a second? Glenn Sylvester, I would gladly second for the approval of the agenda. Are there, so we have first and second. Do we have any comments or further discussion? All those in favor of approving the agenda for this evening, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The approval of the agenda is passed. Next, we have oral comment, and this evening I have 4 cards as of right now. And doesn't look like this is going to come under public comment, but rather items on the consent agenda. I see item number 9 and item number 11. So at this particular time, unless we have any other cards, there are no oral comments that I have. Anyone? Okay. So we'll move on. The next item is the consent agenda. And since I have cards on item number 9 and 11, we're going to pull.
Yes.
You know what? Let me. I provided the information to my council members. So what I'm going to do is go in rotation and ask each council member what item they would like to pull. So I'll start off with the vice mayor.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
There we go. It turned green. Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
I'd like to pull 9 and 11, actually.
Okay.
That being said,
If I may, I think the only item that we could pull at this time is 9.
It's 9.
oh, that's right.
You're
You're right. Pardon me.
11.
Thank you
fault.
for the correction.
My
You are
fault.
absolutely
But
right.
I concur with you.
Thank
Vice
you
Mayor.
so much.
Okay, so Councilmember Manalo, are there any other items besides item number 9? You said you concur
Nine,
with the vice
yeah,
mayor?
yeah.
Okay, Councilmember Di Giovanni, are there any other items than item number 9 on the consent agenda?
No, number 9, especially even stated before the meeting. Pull it.
So there are no other items,
Thank you.
is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so I'll entertain a motion to pull item number 9. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item number 9.
So moved?
Second?
Moved by Councilmember Manalo, second by Councilmember Di Giovanni. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. So we'll start off with item number 9, and we'll have a staff report. Then I have 3 cards for public comment afterwards. Good evening, Josh.
Good evening.
Jen.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and members of the City Council. My name is Joshua Cosgrove. I am, as of just recently, the Acting Director of Public Works. And I have with me the Acting City Engineer and the Civil Engineering Associate. And I will hand over the presentation to the Acting City Engineer, Shirley Chan. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening.
All right, good evening, Honorable Mayor, Vice Mayor, and City Council members. Tonight, staff is requesting authorization for the city manager to execute Amendment Number 1 to the Professional Services Agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates to provide additional engineering design services for the Daly City Safe Routes to School project in the amount of $76,869.08 for a total not to exceed contract amount of $419,480.20. As a quick overview, the Daly City Safe Routes to School project is focused on improving pedestrian and bicycle safety along the East Market Street and Hillside Boulevard, which serve Thomas R. Policita Middle School, John F. Kennedy Elementary School, and Susan B. Anthony Elementary School. East Market Street and Hillside Boulevard are streets identified on the city's high injury network based on findings from the city's Vision Zero action plan. The schools currently create sharp congestion peaks and generate high levels of pedestrian traffic during school pickup and drop-off periods. In September of 2023, the city received $3.2 million in state funding through Caltrans for the project, and in July of 2025, the city executed an agreement with Kimley Horn to provide engineering design services. At this time, additional engineering design services are needed for the Daly City Safe Routes to School project to revise the 50% conceptual design to include alternative improvements to enhance pedestrian and bicycle safety within the project limits without lane reductions based on public and stakeholder feedback. The amendment also includes expanding the project improvements to include reconstruction of the northeast and northwest corners of East Market and Hillside, and as well as support presentations to the City Council and the BPAC. The requested amendment is fully funded through the existing transportation capital project account, so no additional appropriations is needed at this time. In summary, staff recommends that the City Council authorize the city manager to execute amendment number 1 with Kimley Horn and Associates to provide additional engineering services for the Daly City Safe Routes to School project in the amount of $76,869.08 for a total not to exceed contract amount of $419,480.20. Staff is available to answer any additional questions.
All right, thank you, Ms. Chen. As I made mention, I have a few cards, but before I open it up to public comment, I'll entertain the council members if they have any questions pertaining to this project or this item. Vice Mayor, I'll start with you.
Thank you. We did receive some items late in the afternoon, some letters indicating 7 Daly City Safe Route letters that came late in the day. And a lot of them are telling us basically that their concerns about that. And I just wondered if you'd read those already?
Yes, I have.
Okay, in a nutshell, because they all seem to be pretty much the same. And how does the project affect their concerns?
So a 50% conceptual plan was prepared that included lane reductions. This amendment would allow the engineers to look at alternatives that would improve pedestrian and bicycle safety without a lane reduction on East Market.
Okay, so I personally live close by, and during school, it is jam-packed with vehicles. And personally, as you know, a neighbor, I would be very concerned going down to one lane each way because the concept to me sounds great, give room for bikes. The problem is there'll be so many vehicles trying to go, especially in the morning, in the afternoon, leaving kids off, that I'm sure when you guys did your reports, you realized that it would deter instead of make a positive for the bicycles. There are other parts in the city that have shared lanes where they show bikes and it's shared, and in parts of the city of Daly City. And I just wonder if that's a better option than taking away lanes. That's my only thought. When we received the letters, I was worried that there were 7 of them, and each one is important. So I'm glad you all read it and we went through it. So that's my only comment, is that if we perhaps could look at the option of if that's safe. The other problem is, and I feel it's very important to say, is people seem to be on freeway mode when they're going on East Market towards Mission Street. Many times I've been around where they blow through the stop at First and East Market. They just blow through it. If there's a green light, they will blow through that because they're on their way to the green light so they could get to the freeway. And that happens a lot in the mornings, and it happens in the afternoons and in the evenings. So that's a concern. So my worry is the false sense of security, right? The false sense of security for a bike rider. Okay, I said this story before, but I live down there and I work at Duggan's. And so one day I had a bike. I got rid of it already. I'm just going to let you know. And I decided to ride that bike to work. I was scared for my life. Let me just tell you. you can really see riding a bike that people are like this. They're not looking at the road. They can go from here to that wall and they haven't looked up. So my concern is, and I love the idea of bikes. I used to walk to school Tacoma when I was a kid. And I was in, let me tell you, in those days you could be kindergarten, you could be first grade, and they let us, I don't know how our parents let us do that. But seriously, and we walked to school because I lived up past Hillside. So go down the hill and get myself to school. But the point is, I'm concerned about the false sense of security. If someone's pedaling on that bicycle and they feel like they're safe and another person comes along on their cell phone and they're driving and they swerve in, that's my concern. So I just gave you my concerns. I'm sure everybody else has thoughts and concerns, but it's traffic. How do I don't live on East Market, but if you live on East Market, how do you get out of your driveway when it's packed and there's only one lane going back and forth, which I understand is why it sounds like you're saying we leave it as is in that area because of the congestion, right? Okay. Thank you for the time, Mayor. Thank you. And just thought, I mean, more than happy to go out and as soon as school starts, I'll stand over there on the corner and let you watch the crazy. Because I can't even get from my street on 3rd Avenue. Nobody lets me get on East Market. I always have to go around Valley and get myself all the way around. If I try to go on East Market, both ways. If I try to go on East Market during rush time, I cannot get on East Market. And go ahead and try to get in there. You get hit by a car. Somebody will hit you. It's really bad. So, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Anyone else for comments? Councilmember Manalo?
Thank you, Mayor. I think when we look at plans like this, it's so important for us to have multiple discussions and opportunities for community engagement. I think we all have a desire to make sure that our streets are safe, most especially around the school areas. And I have been to some of the safe routes to school, looking at the street areas and multiple ones. And I know that it's important, I think, to hear from the community members that live around the area. And I know that we have someone that does live around the area, Vice Mayor. But to me, I think what's important is if we do provide more opportunity for community engagement. I'm always a believer that, if you're able to get community feedback is important and in that realm. So I think that, making sure that when this plan or we hear from residents and making sure it's accessible in language is very important because a plan that is, that you've been able to bring forth with community outreach will be a plan that everyone will, because there, as mentioned, like there's folks that live in that neighborhood day in and day out. I think when we heard from the school from the teachers and the parents, they were able to share kind of what the issues were. And so I think maybe being able to, has this a design been back to the BPAC?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Councilmember Manalo. So this particular design has not yet been presented to the BPAC.
Okay. Yeah, I think maybe, I know that's why we have an extension of our commissions where most specifically, directly around, issues that we're talking about this evening, to have a group that, number one, has also a lens of the resident, but also some of them do have the professional lens as well in that realm. But I think it's just a good procedure right? Because I think, we look at all of our other commissions, and before we go into land use, it actually gets to our planning commission, and then it goes over to us. Although it's an advisory committee, I think being able to hear from our BPAC and for them to be able to look at this revised plan, I think would be helpful. That's something I think, unless it hinders some sort of dollar acceptance, I think, that would be my suggestion, Mayor, for more community engagement. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Councilmember Di Giovanni, did you have anything, or else I'll move on?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, please.
Just a couple of things. I just have a couple of things.
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
thank
Yes.
you, okay. First of all, I want to thank you for all of the hard work you do, because I know both of you are involved in the Safe Routes to School and are very aware, and I know that we have, just like every time we have I'm not an engineer, so I'm not an expert. You guys are the experts over here. And every time we have something, I notice that when you go out to the schools, Safe Routes to School, or wherever you go, there's certain state laws that I remember Mr. Chu and all of you had to look at, that we are not just able to go out and design sometimes everything we want. And so I respect that, totally respect that. And then, and appreciate all that, and thinking that with my colleagues, I think with the BPAC, it said that they wanted to make sure that there was, not to make the decision, and that to ask for more time, which is good. And I think that more community input. But I do think, for me, it does in no way, because I don't ever want our staff to feel like we're demeaning the expertise, because you have superb expertise in everything to do with Daly City, because I've never seen anything like it. And, people at CCAG and everywhere just thinks that our Daly City engineers are the best, and they are. So, but I think that they would like an opportunity, BPAC, to at least put in some of them, with their backgrounds, and I see two of them here tonight. Thank you for your time being here. But you always work together collaboratively, and especially with our Shirley Chan. So I think that if you guys work together on this collaboratively, then that would be, give them a little more time, Mr. Mayor, like along with the lines of my other colleagues. The same,
Good.
yeah, I think we're on the same page.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. I guess I'll make a comment now and give what I'm, based upon what I've heard from my colleagues here. I've read these letters, and
Yeah, me too.
sometimes, I don't know, the human nature is folks look for things to put and delay matters. But at the same time, the public should have the ability to express their thoughts about it, because I believe two heads are better than one. So I think it was Councilmember Manalo brought up that part about community involvement. Now, as I read the letter from Silicon Valley, it tended to confuse me, because what Silicon Valley wants is they want more bicycle lanes. Okay, and they promote the use of bicycles. Well, if I'm not mistaken, that's what we're trying to do, is to encourage and put in bicycle lanes. But then the part that was provided to Ms. Chen, and she answered it earlier, it may be required during the design phase to reduce the number of lanes. But then Vice Mayor made mention, well, if you reduce the number of lanes, that can make for more traffic congestion. So if I look at the Silicon Valley aspect, the crux of their letter is they would like to see more community output, or input, rather. And I think we as council would like to see the same too, is what has the community I see something here that says something about a recent survey that was done, and I guess that was the reduction of the lanes. Well, what else has the community said? I don't know. So I think that's very important before we move ahead and on this item, because the information, we're hearing a little bit from all sides here as well. So those are just my comments as well. What I would like to do is open it up to public hearing at this time and have the public come up and give their thoughts on this particular item. And then we as council will make a decision after that, okay? So I'm going to open it up to public hearing at this time. I have 3 cards and, 1, 2, yeah, 3. And I'll first start off with Alan Yui. He's going to speak on item 9. After Alan, we're going to have Rebecca. We got 2 Rebeccas? Rebecca? Who's Rebecca? Just plain Rebecca. No more? Change your mind? No, oh, okay. So then I have Rebecca Trong afterwards. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Alvin. You have the floor, sir, please.
Great, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Sylvester, Vice Mayor, and council members. I'm requesting that the proposed amendment to the professional services be rejected and that ultimately the traffic safety improvements at East Market and Hillside Boulevard be designed and implemented as promised in the Safe Routes to School grant agreement and as committed in Daly City's Vision Zero policy. Daly City adopted Vision Zero because too many people have been seriously injured or killed on streets like Hillside and East Market Street. And it's not a surprise that these streets are on the high injury network. This amendment would significantly water down critical safety improvements like improved pedestrian and biking facilities, especially where there are 3 schools located. Cars simply move too fast, and crossing the street is not comfortable at all. Even school crossing guards who wear bright safety vests and receive professional training have a difficult time and are even nervous on these streets. How much more for kids and people who can't cross as fast? Improving protection and safety on these streets should not be watered down. This amendment also asks permission to spend $77K to modify a contract so that the city can proceed with a watered-down design that doesn't move the needle on our safety policies and sustainability goals. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that safety should always trump throughput. We may have a morning rush hour, an evening rush hour, but we still have 20 hours of the day where people may get hit. And I think we should plan for that instead of, worrying about congestion. We do have to address this safety concern. There's a reason why it's on the high injury network. I just wanted to say that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, Rebecca Trong, is she here? Okay. Let me see. Good evening, thank you.
Hello. Hello, my name is Rebecca. I was working as a crossing guard here in Daly City, if you cannot tell. So I have experience working at this two intersections actually on East Market and Hillside. But first, I want to address Vice Mayor Teresa Proano's concerns about how the lane reduction and how that would contribute to car traffic. So I think one thing to note is that the number of people that are going through this area is going to stay the same, or we can try and reduce it. First, it's parents and kids. Now, if there is already a problem with cars building up during school pickup and drop-off times. And the only way to alleviate this is to provide alternate, safe, and efficient routes to school. Currently, the only quote-unquote safe route is through driving. But even I also drive in Daly City. I feel that it is also unsafe driving in this area and that the lane reduction would actually improve the driving experience. One thing is that there are 4 lanes. There are 2 lanes of traffic going either way. But then there's also a through street that it's a 3-way stop. People are turning. But when there's 2 lanes of traffic, you can't see You can't see cars coming from the other side. You also can't see pedestrians that are crossing from the other side. Now, the original design honors, it shortens the crossing distance. It makes pedestrians and cars, other cars, more visible. So I think that these are also things to note, that it's not just safety for pedestrians and cyclists, but it's also safety for drivers. Because there have been many experiences where when I was working as a crossing guard, felt that my life was in danger, or that the kids' lives who were crossing these streets were in danger due to poor infrastructure. Because there is no one person that can make up for a lack.
Go ahead, I'll give you a couple more
Okay.
seconds, please.
Thank you.
Close. Okay.
So I was just saying that I think that there is no one person that can make up for a lack of sufficient safe infrastructure. I would say that just because the original staircase was built without railings does not mean that we should force everyone to climb up these stairs without support. And I think that the original plan with the lane reduction is actually integral to this safety improvement, and that removing the lane reduction actually removes the safety in the plan. Thank you, council members. Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Rebecca. All right. So those are thank you for being here. Those are the only cards that I have on this matter. I think something like a dialogue like this with the public is very, very important because our staff has had the opportunity to get some notes as well. I'm going to have some further comments at the end, but right now I'll entertain a motion to close public hearing on this matter.
So moved.
Motion, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor of closing the comment session at this time, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the comment session is closed. Now I'll leave it for final comments from my colleagues and any additional you might want to add. Well, you know what? Let's go out of order. I'm going to start off first. I think some good ideas came up. And I can see from one of our speakers, the pro aspect is lane reduction. But at the same time, I'm hearing stories that it's really not efficient. So, this is something that we need to look at and consider, and more public comment, especially from someone who has the experience and is actually out there. In my personal experience, when you come to a crosswalk and you see the person take 1 foot off of the curb onto the crosswalk, in the absence of a school crossing guard, even though they are on the other side of the street, California law indicates that you're supposed to yield to that person, even though they're on the other side, and a lot of people don't. Josh, I'm going to put you on the hot seat here. If you were a consulting firm, and I just take it, basically this is for anyone. If you were a consulting firm and the city has asked you to come in and do a study, which includes community input, surveys, would you do it for free?
If I was a consultant and I
Or a consultant,
hat
as
on.
what I'm reading here tonight, where the cost is $79,000 for a consultant to come in to do a study and to move on from there. I would hope they would engage the community as part of that study.
Yes.
Would you do it for free?
No.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's all I need. Who in this audience would do it for free? Nothing comes free. And we're looking at $79,000, something that we're not obligated to do, is from what I understand, but basically just to have a study done and look at both sides and come up to a compromise or agreeable solution. Thank you. So we also talked about, that was services. and I'm definitely concerned about safety. A comment was made that if you got stairs that didn't have railings a long time ago, you shouldn't have to make people walk up those same stairs. But if you do safety precautions to put in railings so that more people can walk up those stairs, you see what I'm getting at? It's two-sided. So we need to all come together and put all this stuff together, but we can't do it if we don't have community output and see what the community can come up with as well. So those are my comments.
Thank you.
Vice
May I?
Mayor, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for coming. I know it's it's time out of your life to come and speak. I would remind the council members here that we did discuss crosswalks and such, a year or so ago when we had visitors. And what I recall was the discussion of perhaps repainting the crosswalks, and this was another school, but also the idea of having blinking lights for crossing, because if the priority is crossing, then we should look at crossing. So either, like I said, we look at the paint, it could be reflective, we could look at blinking lights, or, there's some of the streets in Daly City where you press a button and, the lights go, something like that. I would say to you again, and, I don't want to be redundant, but I live there, and I've lived there on 3rd Avenue since I was 12. I moved away up to First Avenue for a bit, and I bought my house 40 years ago. So I live right there, and I experience it. So I know it would be lovely in a perfect world to have safety for bicycles. But there are some streets in Daly City that may not be a perfect option. So if our concern is walking, which is fabulous, let's look at the options. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Anyone else?
I think Councilmember Manalo.
I'll go
Councilmember
after.
DiGiovanni.
I'll go after.
Thank you. All right,
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you. I only have a couple things. So just for the purposes of the public as well, I guess what we're talking about is that terminology still in play for this one? A road diet, right? And then if you don't mind, for the purposes of the public and everyone here, to explain the purpose of a road diet, because it is supposed to be and has been done in other cities, and then the actions from doing the road diet is something that's supposed to improve safety, doing a road diet. Thank you, if you don't mind. Thank you very much.
So the concept behind the road diet is to reduce the number of travel lanes, throughput lanes on a street, and then reallocate that pavement width to either for pedestrian or bicycle usage. So in some of the concepts that we've looked at, that pavement would be put into a bike lane and a buffered bike lane. So there's kind of added protection for the bicyclists.
May I? So where do the cars go? Where are we going to tell the cars where to go? Because we can't demand cars. I'm sorry. We can't.
Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I'm not-
I'll let you rebut, but Councilmember DiGiovanni
Yeah,
has the
Is
floor.
that
Go
okay?
ahead.
Thank you. So, yeah, so the explanation is that, and then we've had road diets and that in history and documentation prove certain things from the road diet, right? So that people know that with the terminology and what exactly it is, and it does prove outcome even in other cities that have done road diets. Secondly, thank you for explaining that for the public, Ms. Chan, and to everyone at the council here,
Okay,
and how
hold on.
that works. And it-
Councilmember DiGiovanni, you're moving on to a
Yeah,
second
yeah,
point,
Vision Zero.
which is fine, but while we can keep the same train of thought, I believe the Vice Mayor had a question on road
Oh, yeah.
diets specifically.
But I'm
Okay.
alluding for the
So how do we
I'm not done.
convince cars?
Hold on.
Vision Zero. Okay.
How do we, I'm serious. How do we convince people not to get in their cars? And I don't understand how, you're going to tell people, go get a bike, and it has to be a double bike or a triple bike because you got to put the kids in there, right? How are we going to convince Right. So my question, going back to what we're talking about, is if our concern is crossing and safety for crossing, I love the idea for bike riding in a safe environment, but to the detriment of the traffic, it's just not going to go away. That's what I don't understand. I mean, explain?
I'm just getting up to speed with a lot of this and other projects in Public Works. And what I would like to answer that by saying, coming across loud and clear, is community engagement, continued community engagement. So we will take that back and we will do that. And the other thing coming across loud and clear is safety. We're going to do the analysis, and safety will be the highest priority. And I don't know yet how that's going to look in this process, but that is of the highest priority. So that's my answer to you.
Okay, thank you, Vice Mayor, for that additional question. I'll turn it back over to Councilmember DiGiovanni on your point number 2.
Yeah, no problem. I understand. So then I read in these, all this because I remember the current mayor, Mr. Sylvester, and I were on the Vision Zero. So how it coincides with the Vision Zero, I know that for that, we were the very first city that approved that. And so for the betterment of, I don't think that our vice mayor was on the council, that's when it did go through the arterial areas in our city and to discuss, see the safety of crossing and timing lights and crossings, and it was called Vision Zero. So I know that's implemented in everything we do and still is, correct? And that will be implemented in the study, so I appreciate it. So thank you for that. And I know that safety is a priority, and I know that that's verified for the people, and I appreciate that. So thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Councilmember
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
DiGiovanni. Before, I'd like to give Councilmember Manalo if she has any questions.
I think I said it earlier, Mayor. With any plan, I think as acting director, Public Works Director mentioned, that having more input and community engagement will be key. For instance, if there are those that work by the schools, those that live by the schools or in the area, to gather that feedback. But I think ultimately we are looking to reach a goal that provides more safety, a more long-term sustainability towards ensuring we design for the future. And so I think, yeah, we need a little bit more community engagement, and I'd love to hear, what the outcome will be. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo.
Yeah, I think it's, and lastly, I think it's helpful to also reach out to the residents. Obviously, when school's back in session, I don't want to delay anything. I think it's one more month till you get schools there or whatnot. Obviously, safe routes to school has been integral to research. I want to also state that, Vice Mayor did mention we had amazing research project from the youth in Stanford that brought forth some suggestions, right? And so I think we also have to look back at those suggestions from the youth and as well, right? If you think about it, they did some participatory research themselves. And I think, how does that align with what we're trying to do as a city? And if it does, I mean, how much more impactful would that be when a young person sees their idea come to life? So I think this is all part of the, I think, community engagement piece that has started. It's not like it was in a vacuum, but I think that we just need more. When, working with BPAC, residents, and as well as like the school again. I feel like we're not trying to belabor this. I think we all care, right? But then it's also, I think that's the beauty of like our government, right? It's literally around being able to voice your concerns and find a resolve. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Ronaldo. All right, final comment that I'll make also, and I wanted to bring up about what I heard tonight also. There's a term that was used, and one of the persons who spoke seemed very familiar with that term, and I remember becoming very familiar with that term in regards to other projects. I think what's very important is to identify just what is a high injury network. How do we classify something as high injury network? Is this based on previous accidents before in the past? I think to provide that basis as to why we are doing this will go a long way. And then, getting back to Mr. Cosgrove, since you would not do it for free, if you were to go back, if the city was to come back and say, since you won't do it for free, but this is the price you're going to charge us, but included in that price, we would like to have an analysis done, which consists of community input and surveys. And if you want to charge us $2,000 more so that you folks can do that, would you consider?
Yes, sir.
I rest my case. All right, great. All right, so what I'm going to do is we have to move forward and make a decision as to what we're going to do with this item. I want to add to the mix that Councilmember Dr. Rod Dasmakbual is also not here this evening, and I think this is a very, very important matter, and I think all of us should be here to at least hear the results or the analysis. So I'll make the motion, but I'm going to defer to my council members if they would like to make the motion. Okay, since nobody speaks up,
Go ahead.
I would like to make the motion that we table this matter and put it aside for future discussion pertaining to
Second.
to include community input as well.
Mayor, Attorney.
Are we considering a date certain, Mayor, or just table indefinitely?
Oh, that's right, vacation. I mean,
Well, I believe we go dark in August.
Yes.
And I think that should give staff enough time to perhaps come back. How about the first meeting in September? How's that sound? Would that?
is that enough time? Yeah.
That's the council's direction, yes. That should work.
That's a good answer, Josh. Okay, so I made the motion. Now entertain a second.
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor. Any further discussion on the motion? Do we need a roll call on this one? Item number 9?
We can do a voice vote on it.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion to table this matter to the first meeting of September, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Thank you, staff.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for all your work.
thank you to the audience who took the time to be here tonight. Josh, I'll make sure, would you kindly take this and pass it to Annette? And I think those two would be, if we can keep them in the loop as well. Yes, please. Okay, great. Okay, so that was the end of the consent agenda. Next item we'll move on is item number 10, authorize the city manager to execute amendment number 11 to the service agreement.
Through the chair. That was already passed with consent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Item 11
You're
should
right.
be up. You got it, sir.
thank you, you're right. Thank you, city manager. All right. That was the end of the consent agenda. Thank you so much. Next item is item number 11, authorize the city manager to execute agreement with Axon for unmanned aerial systems. And Chief Christensen, thank you for being here. You have the floor, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor and Vice Mayor and Council. For your consideration, staff is recommending approval to execute an agreement with Axon to purchase 2 sets of the Skydio R10 indoor unmanned aerial systems. Through council approval, we first began use of UASs in 2023, and in 2025, council approved the expansion of our drone as a first responder program. Our program has been pivotal in increasing efficiency and safety in the service we provide our community. These indoor UASs presented today will be the next layer in our department's ability to safely clear and de-escalate situations indoors during calls for service or pre-planned operations. This is our current indoor UAS platform. This is the Sky Hero Loki 2. It's great for pre-planned tactical operations. However, it requires a pilot to be in proximity, removing a member from their primary responsibility and potentially exposing them to conflict as a result, especially in an untrained environment with people that don't have specialized training. These are best suited for tactical operations with personnel capable of operating in uncleared areas. These are less versatile and, more importantly, not capable of being flown remotely from our real-time intelligence center. This is the Skydio R10, which is the scaled-down version of our current drone as a first responder system, the X10, which you've all seen. This model has integrated lights and two-way communications built directly into the UAS, enhancing navigation and de-escalation during tense situations. It can be landed and used for remote crisis communication, which is considered the perch mode. It also has radio and cellular connectivity, allowing staff to fly it from greater distances, as well as fully remote flight through our real-time intelligence center. The system will provide a needed solution to patrol daily, designed to de-escalate and reduce the need to unnecessarily expose officers to uncleared locations. These systems are deployed by field personnel as needed and are not intended for outdoor use. The R10 will operate under the same policy as our existing program. All data is stored in secured and compliant digital evidence platforms and retained in compliance with our existing digital evidence policy. Only operated by trained and certified pilots, and they are encompassed in our AB Assembly Bill 481 and Municipal Code reporting to City Council. Any deployment of these drones will follow legal authority, policy, and procedure, and the utmost consideration for the rights and privacy of the community. The goal of the R10 is to provide pertinent information to officers in the field, allowing them to make informed tactical decisions to support de-escalation and reduce the likelihood of conflict. The Skydio R10 is sold in kits of 2, providing us with a spare in case one becomes damaged and can no longer fly. In total, we're seeking the approval to purchase 2 kits, which technically is 2 flyable and 2 backup, but there's only 2 licenses, so only 2 of the 4 can be flown at any one time. The total cost of the 2 kits is approximately $73,000, which is available in the current police operating budget. That concludes the presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions at this time.
Thank you, Chief. I'll open up to council for any questions. I'll start with the Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. Number one, how large are these? And number 2, what would be a reason to fly a drone within a building? Because this would be in a building, right? It would, or would it be like you're called to I don't want to say an event, but you're called and then it's really close by, so you kind of do it real quick and you're looking behind cars. Or could you, a brief explanation how you would use these drones?
Sure. So size is, roughly the size of my iPad. So it could land in my hand. When I've been to Skydio's headquarters and they'll fly them and they have an indoor scenario location there, they'll take them off and land them in their hand. So it's a little bit larger than the size of my hand, square size. The deployment of these, and again, I kind of mentioned a minute ago, they're not really intended for outdoor environments because they can't withstand the wind and the kind of conditions that our current X10 platforms have. So our X10 platforms are much larger, all the ones that you have seen in the docks that we have stationed throughout the city. So those are intended for outdoor use. So really the outdoor exposure for these is pretty limited to none. Not that they couldn't, but they're just not intended for that purpose. So if there were the need for an outdoor, we have plenty of the X10s that are currently operational by either patrol-led DFR programs or our real-time intelligence center who can fly them remotely as well. The use of the R10, which is the smaller one for indoors, it can be used on any variable consideration for officer safety. So we get dispatched to a business or a building late at night for an alarm call, and we arrive, and one of the back doors may be pried open and is open. The current option we have now is go in blind and not really know exactly what you're going to come in contact with. So you go in, firearms are drawn, you have flashlights in your hand depending on the lighting. You're in teams of 2 or 3 or 4 people depending on who's available, and you're concerned about everything that you obviously can't see because it's all considered unclear. This is going to provide an opportunity for patrol. So it comes in a little Pelican case box, a plastic box. You can open it up. Patrol can fly these. They'll have a remote control that they can fly them independently as well. But they can fly these in through the open door. They have collision avoidance, object detection, all that. So you can try and run it into a wall and it won't let you. You can fly it under chairs and under desks. You can fly it into any open space that you could fit it through. So it'll allow them to go through and visually clear the entire inside of a location without having to commit personnel. Now, it doesn't mean that it's 100%, and you still have to enter with caution and due regard and everything else and still have a concern for areas that were not able to be cleared by the drone. Other circumstances are if we're called to a crisis situation, we're called to, some type of a disturbance. The house is, considered a person's kingdom in many respects. And that's the area that they own, they understand, and we don't. And a lot of the times we're called into situations where we have to enter either for protection of life or to ensure that there's no, crisis or injured person. And we're entering uncleared territory that is, a huge concern and one of the most risk-prone locations that we have to enter at any given time. And so this, again, will give us the opportunity to enter any of those locations, do a cursory search visually through what the drone can provide us, and then we can either, depending on if we know where we're going or what the circumstances are, or if we get to a door, let's say, that's closed and we can't access, we can down the drone where it's at in the hallway or whatever and leave the camera running so we can see exactly what's going on as individual officers or the team makes a systematic approach. And then if we can open that door and then fly the drone in and still continue to clear those locations as we go. So it just provides an enhanced level of security for the officers as they make entrance into, uncleared areas.
So night vision is included, and what if, smoke or any of that stuff? Is that something you could potentially use it for if there was a fire? Or?
You can. I mean, the cameras are going to have a little bit more of a difficult challenge in smoke and environments, just like the ones that we currently have for fog. A lot of the infrared kind of can reflect off some of the particles, so that can be more challenging. But as technology continues to evolve and the cameras get better and better, a lot of that's not requiring the same level of infrared, so there's opportunities in the future, but it could be inhibited by some of that.
Thank you so much. Very interesting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other questions?
I have a comment.
Yes, Councilmember Manalo, then Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chief, for this presentation. I think it was helpful to know how small it was. What I hear from you is that this is for indoor use, but obviously if you're called to a situation, it's really around the safety of the police officers because usually you won't be able to see inside. And so part of your team, someone would be maneuvering the drone, and then you'll be able to kind of see or kind of figure out if, what you need to see inside that building. My one question is, when you say tactical, the scenarios, obviously you've been called upon, like 911 and whatnot. So it would be a response, like a response to a call.
The specific drone itself?
Yeah.
It would be a tool or a resource, just like any of the other things that we either carry on our belt or have access to. Our tactical team has, for example, a very small little remote control car, basically, with a camera on it that is kind of the first phase before these came into, operation for us and accessibility for us. So yes, it'll be accessible to patrol units. It will also be accessible to tactical units for pre-planned operations as well. And the deployment of these into any structure are going to fall under any of the Fourth Amendment exemptions. So whether we have a search warrant, an arrest warrant, there's exigent circumstances, or there's a concern about, the safety of life, those are the only reasons we can put these into a building. So if I have the legal authority to enter into a building based on the Fourth Amendment, then this will have that same protection and/or use under those intentions.
Okay. No, I think that we have to look at technology where the safety of our officers and the public, and it seems like this is obviously a really great tool instead of before you just don't know what's around the corner or, or in that respect. And so, and I think thank you for recognizing and letting the public know that literally you can only utilize this in those situations you mentioned. I think that is very helpful. But I think it's good for all of you to have as a tool, especially for your safety. So, and de-escalation. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Councilmember DiGiovanni.
Thank you. Just like Vice Mayor, thank you for your presentation. I just have a couple of things, because we got letters in here. If you would just satisfy and let our public know a couple of their concerns about this company called Axon. And their concerns are that they use and how we don't give that ICE information, or however it works, because you're the chief, so that they'll be satisfied, because I think they raised the fact that this company itself, this Axon company, is using information with ICE, and they have issues with that. And ICE gives free, which we don't do that, to the public, just to satisfy them and hear it from the chief, that the firm gives, and I know it doesn't have reflection on our cops, they gives free gear to some cops to use their Axon. So we know we don't practice any of that here, but would you mind just stating that for the public so that they are reassured, even though all of us, I'm sure we all know that we and our values here with our Daly City PD and our chief and our police department do not act upon those type of behaviors or values that they are looking at or concerned about. Because that definitely we don't share, and we don't act in any way in a deal where they do something for the cops as a favor. Would you mind just addressing their issues? Because I believe you, and I know that our standards are high in how you protect the privacy of the people in our community. If anything, you protect the privacy. Thank
Sure.
you. That's
So-
what we got in our letters.
Sure. And so I received the same three comments
did?
earlier
Okay.
as well, had an opportunity to review them. And
Thank
to just kind of generally cover all three of them, the primary concerns were privacy, obviously. These will follow the same policies and procedures that we have in place now. The California Values Act, again, is the requirement that we do not share with federal agencies or immigration enforcement or utilize for the purposes of immigration enforcement. So none of that would apply, or I'm sorry, all of that would apply, but none of the use of the drone and or any of the footage would be shared with or utilized for federal purposes. We talked a little bit about the Fourth Amendment capacity already for where I can use it. There is a certain requirement. I can't just walk into anybody's home or domain. Same thing applies here. I have to have a Fourth Amendment exemption or consent in order to enter anybody's primary residence or business or anything. So that applies for the privacy side of the concern there. As far as the data storage is concerned, it still follows all the same data stores that all of our body cams, all of our fleet dash cameras, all of our X10 drone footage, everything goes into the evidence.com server, which is a CJIS compliant, so it's a secured government server in the cloud. And it's only accessible by members of the Daly City Police Department through multi-factor authentication access, as well as need to know, right to know, all the other things that are falling under our policy as well. And as it relates to Axon specifically, they are a very large company. They do supply a lot of different agencies throughout the entire country, and they do have a whole suite of things, but they are a company that's focused on de-escalation, life preservation, and adherence to all the policies and the laws that apply to law enforcement agencies. There are certain states that don't have the same requirements that California does, so things may look different in different states than they will in the state of California. But for the purposes of our agency, we follow all that's required by the state of California. All of our data that any flight that we have, it's automatically recorded from the second you turn it on to the second you turn it off. All of that data gets automatically uploaded, so it's not in our control necessarily of when it does or does not. It automatically gets uploaded through either cellular or Wi-Fi connectivity, and all of that data is stored internally in our cloud database and evidence.com database, where all of our current digital evidence is stored. There are certain timeframes for retention. So if it's like an accidental usage or just a routine, there was no enforcement contact, there was no crime associated, it's usually a 9-week retention. Then it goes into a 2-year retention for anything that's just standard flight. If I have to go clear a building on an alarm call, that's an actual enforcement use. There's a 2-year retention there. And then you start getting into crimes, you go anywhere from 10 to 15 to forever retention based on law. And all that's based on primarily law as well. The last thing to add to that is our data storage, regardless of what data system we're using. There's a lot of security aspects that require access to. Nobody can access our evidence.com data unless we explicitly provide them access, or we send a link directly based on a certain request that's either backed up by some type of communications or transmission in requesting that data. So nobody can just go in and access, even Axon doesn't have direct access to any of our personal data. And we also do audits of all of our data on a regular basis. So we see who's accessing, what the purpose of the accessing is, so that way we ensure that there's no misuse or people that shouldn't have access that do have access to any of the data that we have, as well as any of the data sets that we have from different vendors. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah, so to the public, I hope that rest assured that our Daly City Police Departments and their value systems are to protect the privacy of the people and also provide the safety and anything they do. And our chief and department, very proud that they do the due diligence before they even come and present to any of us or for anything on the agenda in regards to anything that they purchase or need. So I appreciate that, Chief. Sure. So hopefully that, I'm glad you got the same letters.
I did, yes.
So that they'll be rest assured that it's not here in Daly City that these practices occur, not with our Daly City PD. And I appreciate all of you. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. All right, Chief, I have a couple of questions. As I took on Josh, I'm going to take you on.
Please.
Hypothetical, and this might help the Vice Mayor in her question. You received a silent alarm in the northeast quadrant of Serramonte. It's 2:00 in the morning. Without the capability of utilizing an indoor drone, how many officers would it take to surround and create a perimeter? Rough estimate.
Everybody we have. It's a very large location, especially for perimeter purposes, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to look and if it's within the mall, so the whole mall is accessible regardless of where it's located and anybody can move around. So if we had an actual known entry into the mall, we would have to put opposing corner, so probably 3 at best. With what we would have at 2:00 in the morning, and then you maybe have a team of 2 or 3 that would be walking the entire interior of the mall, the back entrances, everything else, and it could be challenging.
And if you were going to deploy officers to set a perimeter, and you got 2 officers on the other side in, say, for instance, the Bay Shore to respond to Serramonte, how much time would that take?
2
And,
o'clock.
and now, granted, this is just an alarm, so it's not. It also depends on the type of call, whether it's a robbery in progress. But at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, sounds like to me it's probably a burglary or a loose connection on one of the doors. How long would it take the officer, if you only got 2 or 3 working, to get from the Bay Shore to Serramonte?
Take us probably 8 minutes.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow.
2:00 in the morning is no traffic.
Oh, okay,
Depending on the
okay,
certain- yeah, I mean,
okay.
it's a direct drive.
I stepped into that one. Okay, I get it. So if it would take 8 minutes, if you had another officer already on the scene and they decide to deploy the drone while waiting for the responding officers to come and assist,
Sure.
the drone can come in handy, right?
Sure.
Okay. And if you didn't have the drone, what other resource could you use if you had it? I know one, but I just want to see if
Outside of mutual aid requests from surrounding agencies, there really isn't any.
Oh, do we have any K9s?
Oh, we do. Yeah, but we're not going to deploy a canine.
2 o'clock in the morning and there's nobody in there.
Well, yeah, we're not going to deploy a canine off of its leash to run the mall necessarily. And
Okay.
even if we do deploy a canine, the canine handler has to have at least 1 to 2 backup officers
Yeah.
because their sole responsibility is the dog.
Right.
They can't do any enforcement, engagement, use of force, all that. So they have to focus on the dog.
All right, well, what I was getting at is the use of additional technology is a force multiplier.
Correct.
Basically, we're asking our officers to do more with less.
Sure.
And this is one of the items that will help us do that. And the cost of $72,000 as opposed to having personnel on duty I think it's also a definite cost savings. 5?
And just to be clear, that's a 5-year contract.
That's 5 years?
Yes. Sorry, when you said that, I'm like, it's not 72,000. It's a 5-year contract for those. So it
Thank you for
sounds much
that.
better.
I think that's the most important part. I have no further questions, sir.
Forgot to add that part. Very important.
All right, all right. So any other comments from my fellow council members before I open it up to public hearing? Okay, hearing none, and seeing none, I'm going to open the public hearing. I have one speaker card. And Cheryl, is Cheryl here? Oh, I hate to put Cheryl on the spot. Cheryl's not here? Okay, I'll entertain the motion to close public hearing at this time.
Motion to close.
Okay, I have a first and a second. First and a second. Public hearing is now closed, and thank you very much, Chief. Since you're still standing there, you want to know the final results, so I'll entertain the motion for item number 11, to authorize the city manager to execute agreement with Axon for unmanned aerial systems.
Motion?
Second, in response to your entertaining the motion, Mayor, and I think you did an excellent presentation, Chief, on that. And I think most importantly, some of the commentary was around the safety piece of our immigrant community. And ever since we've come to you around that issue, and I think that is ever since we also try to push for a sanctuary city and making sure that the values of our diverse community is represented, you've always been open to share that value is aligned, and that obviously in line with all of the state law, but also just really what we foster here in the city of Daly City. And so with that, a second, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. So you said you second. Okay, who made the first?
Who made the first?
DJ Abadi was the first.
Yeah.
And Councilmember Manalo was the second.
Yeah.
And it looks like Vice Mayor would like to make a comment before we take the vote.
Yeah, thank you for explaining. I should have said that sooner, because I can understand where the community and residents might be concerned, but when you're able to give us the examples of how you would use it and why you would use it, I think it helps to ease the worry of many people, so I appreciate it. And thanks again for explaining the rights of the community and all that. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. And just so that you're aware, I actually had 2 locations that I was going to ask the chief about, but I didn't want to delay it. Another example I was going to ask was deploying the drone in the Cow Palace. You can cover a lot of areas, so you get an idea. Yeah, exactly. Okay, great. All right. So, Tom? Oh, okay. All right. So, this would require a roll call vote, please. So, may I have a roll call vote, please, on item number 11?
Ms. DiGiovanni?
Aye.
Ms. Perano?
Aye.
Ms. Manalo,
Aye.
Mr. Sylvester.
Glenn Sylvester, aye. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thank you all for the support. Appreciate it.
All right, moving ahead, the next item is boards, commission, membership committee, and appointments. Anyone?
A quick board,
Quick,
wait,
appointments.
oh,
Appointments.
no
Up to the-
appointments first, no.
We're moving along on the
Yes, sir.
commissions. I just want to let everybody know, so thank you all, and our commissions are starting to look pretty good, and I know it's going to get even better. So there's none for this month. We'll move on to reports. Item 12, council committee reports.
I have one.
Yes, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. I was happy to attend the Peninsula Clean Energy meeting on behalf of Council Member Rod. And they now have an official new name, and it's now Westlight Energy. And so customers in San Mateo County and Los Baños will see the new name on their monthly utility bills. So when you're looking and you go, why am I paying for that? For Westlight, it's because it used to be Peninsula Clean Energy. And it's replacing the old PCE acronym to prevent confusion with PG&E. So sometimes people would get confused. So that's kind of what happened. It was a nice event. There was representation probably from almost all the cities, and it was a good event. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other council committee reports? Okay, I have one. Today, I had the opportunity to attend the Finance Committee meeting for the Emergency Services Council of San Mateo. And we had a big discussion on hazmat, the purchase of a hazmat vehicle, which will take 5 years to build at a cost of $1.8 million. And we didn't have much in our reserve account, but you know, every city in San Mateo pays in for emergency services. One of them is being hazmat. So we came up with a few options. If we get into contract by January 2027, go into contract with San Mateo County, then we can save something like $135,000.
Nice.
So, but that would cause for us to deplete our reserve fund, which now sits at 500,000, and maybe bring it down to 50. So to make up for it, each city will get an increase in being a part of this emergency management at a cost of 3% per year additional. If we use part of the money, it can go up to, I believe it was 6%. And if we try to put down the lowest amount possible, which is hardly anything, I think it was $50,000, the cost to the cities would each be about 12% increase for the next 5 years to be a member. And please don't ask me what is Daly Cities paying right now, but yeah, 5, 7, and 12. So they're going to put together this information, and this is going to go before the entire board with all the cities. This was just a finance committee meeting today. So I just thought I'd put that information out to everyone for your information. Okay, and that's all I have for council committee reports. Next item is city council reports. Okay, Councilmember Di Giovanni.
I'm sure I would like the Vice Mayor also to chime in on the event. That was so wonderful. I'll do some of it, and then I'll allude to the Vice Mayor, because it was something that was very, wasn't just a regular rondella, and they were from Boston. I'll let her speak as well. And that it was completely moving, something unexpected, and I hope they were able to come back as a nonprofit to keep the Filipino culture, because there's only 23,000 Filipinos in the whole state of Massachusetts. So it's wonderful to see young people to come and give their culture back. And they did it in such a beautiful manner through dance, playing more than one instrument because they're multi-talented, their voices, the storytelling and everything that, again, I'll let her give the details. I don't want to take it all away. It was, and hopefully next year they can come back and more people will be able to experience it. And I thought that the people were really enthralled. So I'll let her do that. Secondly, while we're on this, I want to read something from Allison from the Cow Palace that we have received so many letters. The deputy, this is regard to Global Stack, to my colleagues and to the public. The deputy secretary introduced us, meaning Cow Palace, to Global Stack. We did receive a presentation. There was a very, very preliminary presentation and has not been noticed as a real estate discussion item for the board. The only decision before the board right now is to learn more or to pass on the whole, all of it. We have received several emails from the public, and they will be shared with the board. They are happy to hear that people do care and are so concerned about what happens to our Cow Palace. So that's all she has for now, and then there's an upcoming board meeting where we will hopefully learn more, but there is no move to, as she said, to have a data center at this particular time. They only did a presentation. So, and she knows how important the Cow Palace is. Okay, this other thing is I had received several calls because I recently found out that we are, which is exciting, the Magical Bridge is going to have the ribbon cutting on Thursday at the Hillside Park. And then earlier, when we discussed about outreach to community, several people that called said they didn't feel like that part of the community had been outreach to in regards to impact to parking and everything that's affiliated. They support the Magical Bridge, but no one has addressed the community concerns. So in that hillside, all that community, they don't feel like the city has outreach to them. And so they expressed several different things. And I told them I wasn't aware of any community outreach, but maybe there had been community outreach. So through the mayor, hopefully he can find out. And that, because they know it will be an impact one way or the other, and that a large area. Everyone is excited. One suggestion was, even though I know we're moving past that, and I didn't know that at the hillside area is the front of where the Westlake playground is. I'm just repeating what the community said. Westlake area where that playground is, to expand that area because there's more parking there and it's a bigger area and it would not impede on the March Bank refurbishing if they just expanded the front part and make that one the Magical Bridge in that area. And it's not in a residential neighborhood to impact them. So anyway, just giving feedback to my colleagues to share and to the city manager. Let's see, the third thing, let's see, city council report. I believe that's it for now. Thank you. And I'd like for Vice Mayor, she had some really nice words to say to the group who enjoyed Jollibee afterwards because they don't have a Jollibee in Massachusetts. So my friend Rhea is the general manager. She said they were thrilled. 35 of them showed up at Jollibee's. But thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Since your name was called Vice Mayor, you should go next, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Yes, so I could tag on to the July 8th. There was here in City Hall, there was an event called Musikang Kalipay. And beautiful performers, musicians, dancing. The play was basically based on a story. So when we all grew up, there was always the monster. You know how the kids are. Like, there's a monster, there's this, that. So this is a famous monster in the Philippines that would divide itself and do things. Anyway, so someone wrote a book, and she was here, actually. And after they wrote the book, another woman, Maya, she decided to create a play. And they created the play but they did this fantastic play, but it was only one day in Boston. So they decided they were going to do a suitcase play. And what she explained was let's take off and do tours. And she lived here in Daly City. And so thank you to Leilani and the whole crew
Yeah,
who,
thank you, Leilani.
within a short period of time, assisted them in coming. It was beautiful. It was the music was not just, it was all types of music. So it was ethnic music, but they also played Michael Jackson and
Bruno
Taylor
Mars.
Swift, and they had beautiful instruments. They sang, they danced, and so I will say I didn't know I needed it until I was there. Then it made me feel like I was at peace listening to it. So I highly recommend it if they come back. If we have more time, we could promote it. So that was that. Thank you. June 24th, many of us were at the Penelope Coffee and Tea
Oh, yeah.
ribbon cutting. I've been there many times after. I will highly recommend the orange cake. The orange cake. It comes from Greece, the cake, and they bring it they ship it here, and then it's delicious. So I would just say, if you haven't done anything, try a cup of coffee and the orange cake. I attended a Daly City Coma Chamber of Commerce board meeting as I am a board member. And I was also honored, and I won't make too much comment so the mayor can speak about the East Palo Alto meeting of the Council of Cities at the Bloom House. And they shared with us their drawings and concept of their new city hall. So it was very nice. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilmember Manalo.
Thank you, Mayor. I was able to attend the Sutter Health Community Wellness Fair, where many of our nurses in our community work there. It was really a resource fair for the community. And also Penelope's Coffee and Tea. Oh my goodness, what an amazing place. So wonderful. And it's really great to see business owners thrive because they're the same owners of Nick the Greek. And so when you see the expansion of family businesses, I think that's where you see kind of the trickle effects of really when we look about the economic prosperity piece, right? And that they're able to keep building. And it's starting from literally a family business. So I think congratulations to them and how much they've grown over the years. Also joined the 2026 Old Shanghai Starlight Gala with Daisy Lee for Moonstar. And then the Jefferson High School class of 2006, 20-year anniversary. Now, that's not my year. Sure it is. But, was invited to be there. And, as a Jefferson alumni, like Vice Mayor, it was really nice to just see that Jefferson spirit. And also, congratulations to the UP Alumni Association of the Philippines of San Francisco Bay Area, which is a fun fact. They were actually birthed in Daly City. Wow. But it is our 13th year having a summer camp for youth and young people. And what that summer camp entails is really teaching the dances, the songs, and traditions in the Philippines, and even the language. And so I want to say congratulations to them. This time they brought it over on this side of the bay. Usually it's in the East Bay in Dublin, but it was at El Camino High School. And then also was able to join the I Am Fame Global Educators Night, which really highlighted a lot of our Filipino teachers that have come from the Philippines. There has been a huge gap in really special education teachers, and we've seen them being able to come into our school districts, the Jefferson Elementary School District and other districts where there's a huge gap in need. And so actually that event was national. There are people from the East Coast, all the way from the East Coast, to come celebrate together their organization. And I was really grateful to be their keynote speaker. And also on July 4th, I was able to join Congressman Mullen and the South San Francisco council members and Mayor Adiego for the 250th birthday of the United States. And so they had a big celebration there, and my daughter Giselle was with me in festive gear. And then I just wanted to share also, for the first time in San Francisco, they had the one city day, and maybe that's something in the future is kind of similar to what we do for Make a Difference Day in Daly City, but was able to help out over there with the leadership of First Lady Becca. And then I also wanted to share that I was able to join the Rotary of Sunset San Francisco. You may say Sunset San Francisco, but actually we have a lot of Daly City residents that joined that Rotary. Wow. Yeah. And so they had their installation. But also, when speaking upon the magical bridge, I do want to ask staff later, and I want to make sure, around what kind of community engagement we've done. This project has been conceptualized for a long time, and I know that with the organization itself, when they presented to us, we had asked them around what ways are you going to engage with the community? And I think that was one of the key pieces. Now, I am ecstatic that we are going to have Magical Bridge in the northern part of San Mateo County because it's needed. And it started off literally from a conversation from a parent who advocated for its need to be here and why. Because they always had to drive all the way to Redwood City or Palo Alto. And at that time, there was only two. Nowadays, that has expanded to many other locations. And when we look at it, it's about a collective. At that time, Assemblymember Phil Ting, I know he had asked before, how can we help? How can we help? And, this idea was brought forth from community, which I am just an advocate, right? I extend and advocate, and thankfully, Assemblymember Phil Ting had dollars to support this, to bring this to fruition. Although, it's taking some time, but when we think about something that is so special, and I remember when Mikey's parents texted me, "This is the Magical Bridge." And then I remember driving over and saw how magical it was, and that there was no park like that in our city of Daly City.
It's true.
And that's why, we had brought it forth, because our children, our older adults, everyone deserves, something where they don't have to drive all the way down. We are working families here. And so, I'm ecstatic that the groundbreaking is happening, and I think that I will probably ask our city manager to ask those that have done the community engagement. But this is a positive thing, and I have faith that we'll be able to hopefully see the forest instead of the tree, and see how much this will be able to be a wonderful thing for our community. And so, thank you so much for the time, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Is that it? Oh, me. Since Vice Mayor called me up, the Council of Cities, East Palo Alto, the current city manager made a compelling argument as to why they should develop in East Palo Alto. First of all, he definitely has roots in the city because he was born in East Palo Alto and now he's the city manager. But he made such a compelling argument. You know, there's a saying I always use, you never know how good you have it until you don't have it anymore. In the city of East Palo Alto, they are not centrally localized for their government services. I think the presentation, one of them was, I think their public library is in a building that they rent.
Wow.
City Hall too.
Uh,
City Hall too, they rent.
City Hall and the police department, I believe they were in trailers.
Wow.
And I used to have a friend who I used to work with who became the police chief down in East Palo Alto. And during his tenure, crime dropped tremendously. Now, I think if here in City Hall, here in Daly City, I mean, you have planning, you have engineers, you have the city clerk, you have the police department, you have the city manager and all the officers. And until recently, we just got HR just right across the street. So, I mean, things are local and it makes it much easier and it's also easier for the community. So I really appreciate hearing from East Palo Alto and what they're going through.
Yeah.
And I asked him for further information because I was so enthusiastic about it that I said, I will donate to help build down there. He says, okay, be careful what you wish for. So I feel as a result, and that's what going to these different council of city meetings, because every city is unique. Every city has its own needs.
I agree.
And to learn about each city makes you basically all-rounded in the sense of when you meet with these different folks, you know, you have that information, and sometimes you can come up with some good ideas to make things better. So thank you for that, Vice Mayor Perano, for the reminder. Other than that, let me see. You talked about Magical Bridge.
The ribbon cutting.
Ribbon cutting? Oh, you made mention about the orange cake. I'm going to have to try that, but nothing's going to top the butter cake that I get at Joe's.
Did you have butter cake there?
Huh?
The butter cake?
No, butter cake at Joe's.
Oh,
You
no,
can't-
it's
can't-
different. No,
It's
no,
different?
it's different.
Orange, okay.
The orange cake is killer, though.
Okay, all right.
It's
Thank
good.
you. Thank you for that. Okay. Is that it for council, city council? Okay, next item, how about staff?
Mr. Mayor, Mr.
Oh.
Mayor, if I may, and I want to give you the kudos for this, for bringing forth the Burmese Festival.
Oh, yes.
That'll be happening this Saturday. And so thank you for your leadership in that, and that we'll be having that, I think it's Saturday, 10 to 12?
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
to 12.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So
10 to 12.
thank you so much for your leadership on that.
Thank you, Councilmember Manalo. Actually, I really appreciate that. It was staff who at the last minute, and they're always so resilient, dynamic, and fluid to try to accommodate, you know, good things for the city. So don't forget, it's the 18th, 10 to 12. It's Mohinga, which is a certain dish from the Burmese community. It's like a soup.
Oh, I love that soup. The fish soup?
I think so. Oh, Leilani's saying yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Oh, my goodness. And we got requests. Somebody wanted to provide more food, different types of food, like a bento box and et cetera. But, you know, we had already started and, you know, and I'm learning about the process. So thank you for that, Councilmember Manalo. Thank you. And thank you to staff. All right, staff, it's your turn.
Yes, sir. Through the Chair, thank
wait.
you. Yes.
Should I put it out, or you told me something was coming?
I'll
I'll let you, go ahead, Mr. Peak.
I'll start with what Councilmember Manalo said. It's the Burmese
Yeah.
first annual festival here at City Hall, Saturday, 10 a.m. Mohinkar is the way I have the pronunciation. but, and then it's the first Burmese cultural celebration here at Daly City, and we are excited about it. I'd also like to address or talk about that we have a groundbreaking Thursday, the 16th at 11 a.m. for Magical Bridge, and 1 p.m., my apologies. But I'd like to talk about some of the outreach that's been done because it's been extensive. And over a year ago, there was a town hall meeting that the residents that were noticed in the neighborhood were able to attend, in which that was the case. There were a lot of residents from the neighborhood that came and asked questions, were skeptical, walked away, really excited about the project. That was done by Magical Bridge. There's also a webpage dedicated to it, the city's webpage. There's also a specific webpage for Magical Bridge that is out there. Social media outreach has been out there. There is also postcards have been mailed out by Magical Bridge Foundation. Our spring newsletter was mailed out to every resident, every household in Daly City. So there's been a lot of outreach that went out for over the last year. Like Councilmember Manala said, this has been in the making. It's been a long process, but we're there now. Thursday we will break ground, and we believe that the outreach has been adequate. Those that have had concerns have been able to raise them, and staff working with Magical Bridge. And also there was also a company called Ability Path. They also did outreach as well. So several mechanisms to reach the public have gone out, mostly favorable. So the community has been notified. Some of the concerns that there will be a second phase, which will address additional parking. So those things are in the works. We are happy to be able to build this playground for Daly City. I think when the concept was first raised, one of the exciting things was to have one in the North County, with the North County being an afterthought or forgotten at times. This time we're not being forgotten. So with the help of Phil Ting, who was at the time, he'll be there on Thursday to celebrate, some other donors, and also some city finances. So successful project on the way. We're excited. Staff is, and I know the community is. So I wanted to make sure that it was clear that we did do quite a bit of public outreach. So thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Is there
So I didn't
something
want
else
to
I'm
give it
forgetting,
up.
sir?
I really didn't want to give it up. I think it'll come in time for Daly City's new businesses and, forthcoming. I think folks are going to be surprised as to the hard work that.
You can say it.
Huh?
You're the mayor.
Huh?
You can say it. You're the mayor.
Oh no! I just I don't want to take the glory away, but I'm just excited. I just heard, and usually if I don't see it, until I see it or I see groundbreaking, then right. So got some good stuff coming. Okay.
Mayor?
Yes.
The Samoan flag raising, July 25th?
Oh, you want to make that announcement, Vice Mayor?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I was waiting to see if somebody said it, so since they didn't, I thought I'd say it. So we're going to have the Samoan flag raising here at City Hall, July 25th. I didn't put down the time. It's Saturday. 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Very good. So put that on your calendars, guys. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, that's good.
Lots to do, lots to do.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Yes,
Wow.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Mayor.
Yes.
Yeah? Is that what you heard?
Uh-oh.
Starts with a C?
Sign language. Starts with a C?
Oh no. Oh.
Ooh.
Thomas nodded his head. I already forgot. That's why I'm not bringing it up.
No worries.
What was it? What sauce was that?
I don't know.
I thought that's what the excitement was about.
What?
You said that someone might be coming to town. But
Yeah. It's coming. I forgot already. That's why I was calling on Tom, but he's not giving it up. So it's good. Stay tuned. Folks, make folks come back. Oh, I got to see you at the council meeting.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. Thank you, staff. The next item is adjournment, and we have two for this evening as of this point. And I'll start off with Councilmember DiGiovanni, Austri Davidson.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
Austri Verta Kerrigan Davidson, otherwise known as Austri. She was born February the 10th, 1954, and passed on June 13th, 2026. So it reads as, this is for you, Sis Lydia and her husband Rodney. Forever in our hearts. Austri Verta Austri Davidson, 72, of Daly City, California, passed away at her home on the June 13th. She was born, as we said, in 1954 in the Philippines to Luis and Lydia Kerrigan. Austria attended Woodrow Wilson High School and later continued her education at City College of San Francisco. She built a life centered around her family, kindness, and dedication to those she loved. On October 23rd, 1982, she married the love of her life, Rodney Davidson, who is also a veteran. And together they shared many years of love, laughter, and cherished memories, and they have one son. Austri will be remembered for her warm heart, gentle spirit, and unwavering devotion to her family and friends. She had a caring nature that made everyone around her feel welcome and loved. Her strength, compassion, and generosity left a lasting impression on all who had the privilege of knowing her. Whether sharing stories, celebrating family gatherings, or simply offering a listening or eating together, Austri's presence brought comfort and joy to those around her. She is lovingly survived by her son Bradley Davidson, along with many extended family members and dear friends who will forever cherish her memory. Austri's love, kindness, and beautiful spirit will remain in the hearts of all who know and love her. Though she is deeply missed, her memory will continue to inspire and comfort those in whose lives she touched. And her transcends across. It was Councilmember Flor Nicholas, Vice Mayor Mark Nogales of South City, and her sister Lydia, who's a commissioner in South City. And then we always used to go to Mater de la Rosa or with two other services together with a karaoke or whatever, bingo or whatever they wanted to do. So she will be definitely deeply missed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember DiGiovanni. And now I have Vice Mayor Perano for Maria Cuca Padilla.
Padilla. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. My tia Cuca is one of my late father's sisters, so I am honored to read this, and a resident, longtime resident of Daly City. So I'd like to read her obituary. Maria de Refugio Cuca Padilla was born on November 2nd, 1945 in Mezcala de los Romeros, Jalisco. The daughter of Dionisio Lopez and Concepcion Gomez, she grew up in a home where her parents instilled a deep and exemplary faith. From a very young age, Cuca and her Cuca and her siblings, the late Jose de Jesus, the late Teresa, the late Rafael, my dad, my tia Catalina, my tia Luisa, the late Rigoberto, Leopoldo, Felipe, and Tita. And they learned the value of hard work. Cuca focused on helping her family and in a very special way supported her father with his business. Those early years shaped the hardworking, dedicated, and resilient woman she would become. Joy always filled her life, and she possessed a contagious laugh. And Cuca and her siblings loved to sing together on outdoor afternoons, delighting all who listened. Her grace and beauty did not go unnoticed. At age 17, she was invited to run for Queen of Mezcala during the patronal festivals. And thanks to the great support of her family and community, she won the pageant and represented her town with great pride. The love of her life was David Padilla. This story began with knowing glances in church, where he was captivated upon seeing her dressed in white and with her beautiful braids. And destiny brought their families even closer when David's brother, Claro, married Cuca's sister, that's my tia Luisa, and later her brother, Rigoberto, married David's sister. So that's my tia Chuy. So two brothers married two sisters, and then there was a sister married the brothers. So there was three of the families. So let's see. Despite the distance, occasional storms, and the river, David crossed on horseback, love triumphant. After a beautiful courtship, they united their lives in marriage on November 6, 1965, when Cuca was 20 years old. The young couple started their home and had their first daughter, Griselda. And just Griselda happened to marry my husband's nephew, so there's more family. In search of a better future, they immigrated to the United States in 1968, where their daughter Lilia was born, and after a brief return to Mexico, where their sons David and Dugaldo and Alejandro were born, the family settled permanently in Daly City in 1977, where their daughter Fabiola was born. In 1981, Cuca began working at See's Candy, a company to which she dedicated nearly 20 decades of work until her retirement in the year 2000. Cuca was an impeccable woman, detail-oriented and meticulous with her things, and she took great pride in keeping her home spotless. And literally, you guys, amazing, spotless. And all my aunts in the same way. She was fascinated by her plants and was known for preparing a delicious pozole. For Cuca, her husband and her children were the center of her universe. As an exemplary mother, she gave them unconditional love and taught them to love deeply, to live with faith, and to honor God at all times. She loved to spoil her family, enjoyed chocolates, shared casino trips with her husband, and always dressed her best. Her nails were always done because her daughter does nails, and her hair. One of her daughters had a salon, so she was always dressed. She was adorable. My tia Cuca deeply adored her grandchildren, and it was an absolute delight for her to spend time with her 20 grandchildren: Mario, Monica, Maribel, Veronica, Mauricito, Nicolette, David III, Brianna, Angelic, I think it's Angelica there, Alexis, Nicolas, Andres, Ariana, Annalie, Dalia, Matthew, Charlize, Giovanni, Shyla, and Camila. Life later became even sweeter with the arrival of her great-grandchildren, Jose, Angel, Angelita, Esmeralda, Damian, Aviana, and Nevia. Cuca was a true warrior, the strongest person her family ever knew. She faced health adversaries and with admirable courage, and her faith held high. And although her family would deeply miss her physically blessing and earthly presence, they find comfort in the certainty that she continues to send her blessings from heaven. Her legacy of love, strength, and devotion will live forever in the hearts of her husband, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and all those fortunate enough to cross her threshold, as her door was always open to everyone. And we're going to greatly miss her. She was a lovely light and full of love. So we should all be lucky to have somebody like her in our lives, and can be truly missed. So thank you for listening. I don't normally read the whole entire obituary, but I thought it was important to share. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, if we can kindly please pause for a brief moment of silence, please. Okay, thank you. This meeting is now adjourned. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you.